Hey friends, I would like to thank you all for subscribing my channel and also watching my videos. It is really encouraging. For today's terrarium, I'm going to use this bowl. It opens on the side. It's almost 10 inches wide. As usual, the base layer is rocks. It's good for drainage, and you can also see when you've put too much water, you will see it collected down there. And in this terrarium, I'm going to make a pond. So I have used a plastic half cut plastic bottle or container. You can use any size you want that you would like to, and I put it there where I want the pond to be. And I'm adding some rocks where I want some height, because I don't want to put all the dirt. It also helps in drainage. Here I'm covering the plastic bottle with a plastic wrap, because while I put rocks and dirt and all, I don't want it all to go in the pond, because I cannot remove this container later on to clean it. So I need it to be clean for the final look. So as usual, I'm adding the dirt that I've sterilized in my microwave just to avoid unnecessary bugs. But since it's an open terrarium, there are chances that eventually it can get some bugs or flies, but you can always take care of that later on. Also, considering that it's an open terrarium, I'm going to try to use less moss, just to avoid the necessity to spray it multiple times a day, and use more of other kind of plants that can survive or do really well with only moist soil, and also do awesomely well in the as ground cover. Here I'm using a Dracaena. It's apparently slow growing and it likes humidity. So I'll add some dirt around the roots. We don't have to worry much about it, because we can always put some rocks to stabilize it. This is another plant, Silverpilia. It's gonna go there. As usual, my favorite are Phytonias. They will do really well in this terrarium, considering that there will be a pond which can release moisture in the atmosphere. I'm going to also use moss around the pond, especially Java moss, so that it can absorb water. It can take water from the pond and thrive. Away from the pond, I'm going to use mosses more, which do not need really high amount of water around them, but some moisture will be good. I'll first finish my planting, then I plan to add some miniatures in there. This is my polka dot plants. I'm adding some cuttings. In my experience, they do really well, and they root really well in terrariums. A little bit of dirt here and there. I made a few miniatures with polymeric clay that I'm going to add in this terrarium. It's a little hot, and then I'm gonna use some rocks to make stairs, just to make a scene where there's a small hut and there are steps going down next to the pond, and there is a picnic spot right there. So those kind of stuff. Most of these rocks, I bought these rocks from the aquarium stores. You get a lot of options. You can just go there and find out different kind of rocks that you will need for your project. You just need a really small pieces of this black slate. it is very easy to break this stone and make smaller stones for smaller steps, or you could just use them as it is. So for my project I needed really small pieces, and they were almost finished with the rock, the slate pieces, and then I just had to pick up those leftovers, and that's enough for my project. So you can visit your local aquarium store and find out all the fancy rocks that you want to add in your terrarium. I'm adding some lava rocks around the pond. Lava rock is good at absorbing water, so while watering my pond, I can spray water in the lava rock too, and it will absorb water, and my java moss around it should be able to thrive on that. So that's my plan. And also, because lava rock also releases moisture around it, it's a good rock to be added in the terrarium. So my steps are ready, and I'm checking for the size with my picnic blanket that I made out of polymeric clay. I'm just doing a few last finishes, brushing off, adding some dirt, and then after that I'm gonna brush off all the dirt from the rocks as much as possible to make it neat and clean, and this way I'll also push my dirt where I want it to. I'm going to add some Pilea baby tears. They make good ground cover once they start growing, and look very neat, especially considering this is an open terrarium. I don't want to make it absolutely moss based, because moss needs a lot more humidity to survive compared to some of these other plants. Also, I like these to add club moss, to add texture to the whole ground cover thing. And I'm spraying water to water plants as well as to do a little bit of cleanup. Finally, it's time to add my picnic table and a cute little picnic basket along with a bouquet of flowers. I made all this with polymeric clay. You can also buy miniatures from Amazon or Etsy, but what I need is needs to be really small and exactly how I want it. So that's why I choose to make it on my own. Now I put the plastic baggie on it and left it so that I can work on it on next day. So now it's time for me to add some moss. I'm gonna add some of the moss that I've been growing in my other terraria. I'm adding some decorative rocks around moss and the steps to give it a little neater look and more manicured. So now it's time to remove the plastic bag from the top of the pond, because I'm pretty much done with the dirt work. So the risk of dirt or random rocks falling on it are very less. It's time to make the pond fancy now. I'm adding some blue and clear colored glass pebbles so that when I add water, it it reflects the color from the glass beads or pebbles and kind of looks bluish. I'm adding water with a little small beaker because I don't want to spill water everywhere in the terrarium. So make sure that the container you're using is small enough to reach inside the terrarium from that opening. I've added floater plants in my pond and I'm adding java moss around it. I wouldn't put java moss elsewhere in an open terrarium because it needs higher moisture level compared to other mosses in my terrarium, so it might not survive. So now my terrarium is ready with a small hut, some steps, going down to the picnic spot with a pond and a little bit of color from my nerve plants. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.